Watch the linesman at this week's knockout match. A through ball splits the back line, a striker races onto it, and the whole stadium asks the same question. Was he off? It's tight. Too tight for any human eye at full speed. For years, linesmen were trained to do exactly one thing in this moment. Nothing. Keep the flag down. Let the attack play out. Sort out the truth later, with frozen frames and drawn lines. Then the striker takes his touch and the flag goes straight up. No replay, no lines, no wait. That speed is new and it should unsettle you a little. The man holding the flag didn't work out the answer. A machine froze the pitch at the exact millisecond the pass was struck, measured the striker's shoulder against the last defender's knee, and the moment the striker touched the ball, the moment the offense became real, a voice spoke in the linesman's ear. The human raised the flag. The machine made the call. This is the World Cup you're watching right now. Before tonight's final whistle, the cameras around that pitch will have logged more than 150 million measurements of everything moving on it. So hold one question for the next few minutes. How much of this game still belongs to humans? None of this is secret, by the way. It's just quiet. In June 2026, FIFA's Director of Innovation, Johannes Holzmüller, walked reporters through the new offside system. At the last World Cup, offside alerts went to the video referee first, and linesmen held their flags through dangerous attacks. Let the move finish, then decide. Players kept sprinting, colliding, scoring goals that were already dead, not anymore. For clear positional offsides, the alert now goes straight to the officials on the pitch. The instant the offense exists, the tight calls, and whether an offside player actually interfered still travel the slow human route. But the clear ones? The system already knows. And it knows because it sees in a way no human can. Every single player at this tournament was 3D scanned before it began. Their digital doubles live inside the system, tracked limb by limb. There are 2 World Cups happening at once, one played on grass and one played by avatars in a machine's memory, a fraction of a second behind the real one. Here's the part most people miss. This system had a debut, and the first thing it ever did at a World Cup was take a goal away. Qatar, November 2022. The opening match is 158 seconds old when Ecuador's Ener Valencia puts the ball in the net. For a moment, the fastest goal ever scored in a World Cup opener. Then the review. 12 cameras under the stadium roof had been tracking 29 points on every player's body, 50 times a second. Somewhere in that river of numbers, an Ecuadorian foot was a fraction too far forward. Referee Daniele Orsado disallowed the goal. The machine's first act on football's biggest stage was subtraction. Nobody voted for any of this. It arrived one World Cup at a time. In 2010, Frank Lampard's shot bounced down clearly behind Germany's goal line, and no goal was given, so 2014 brought goal line sensors. 2018 brought the video referee. 2022 brought semi-automated offside. 2026 brought the body scans and the voice in the earpiece. 4 tournaments, 4 upgrades, and never an announcement that the nature of the game had changed. But refereeing is only the layer you can see. The deeper change is happening where the broadcast cameras never go. Start with the ball itself. The adidas Trionda, the official ball of this World Cup, carries a sensor suspended in one of its 4 panels, reporting its motion 500 times every second, roughly 8 reports in the gap between 2 frames on your TV. Every touch streams to the video hub, which is how the system knows the exact instant a pass was struck. The other 3 panels carry counterweights to keep the ball balanced. And yes, the match ball now has a battery. Before kickoff, someone charges the football. Meanwhile, 16 tracking cameras ring every stadium, producing those 150 million data points per match, around 28,000 measurements a second, a complete 3D copy of the game rebuilt in real time. All that data doesn't just flow to referees, it flows to the dugout. In 2024, researchers from Google DeepMind published something remarkable in Nature Communications. Working with Liverpool FC, they trained a system called Tactic AI on 9,693 Premier League corner kicks. Then came a blind test. Football experts were shown corner routines, some real, taken from actual matches, some invented by the machine, and asked which they would rather use. They chose the machine's suggestions 90% of the time. Sit with that. Not the AI's ideas were hard to tell apart from a coach's. The experts, given the choice, preferred the machine's corners 9 times out of 10. The set piece, football's oldest chalkboard ritual, now has a co-author. And the machine isn't only choosing plays, it's starting to choose people. Back in 2018, a team led by Alessio Rossi published a study in PLOS One that should have made more noise than it did. Using GPS trackers on players at a professional club, their model learned to read training workloads and flagged roughly 80% of injuries before they happened. It cried wolf plenty too. About half its alarms were false. But think about what that means. A spreadsheet noticed the hamstring before the hamstring did. Today, clubs run entire platforms built on this idea, helping decide who trains, who rests, who gets sold while their legs still hold value. And at this World Cup, FIFA handed all 48 teams the same generative AI analyst, a tool that answers in seconds what used to be a 50-page match report. The smallest federation in the tournament walked in with a machine analyst as sharp as the richest ones. Now, the obvious objection, it's called semi-automated for a reason. Humans keep the final call. And that's true. FIFA is careful here. Whether an offside player actually interfered with play is still a human judgment. The referee can still overrule. But look at the shape of the thing. For positional offside, the human's role is to relay what the machine already decided. For corner kicks, the coach holds a veto and prefers the machine's plan 9 times out of 10. The question is no longer whether a human signs off, it's how often the human still dares to disagree. That's a quieter kind of handover, the kind nobody announces. So come back to your couch this week, the flag, the little 3D replay that explains the call before the crowd is finished groaning. The players down there are still gloriously human. The miss-hit shot, the panicked clearance, the striker who pulls his shirt over his face, no algorithm did any of that. What changed is the frame around them. What counts as a goal? Who makes the squad? Which corner routine exists at all? Quietly, in a little over a decade, the sport handed its boundaries to machines and kept the flesh in the middle. The flag still goes up, but it used to be a question, one man's guess against the speed of the game. Now it's an answer delivered to his ear. Football is still played by humans. It just isn't only judged by them anymore.